The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 314. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She's a media influencer, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her story with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Julie Tai. Julie, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi, my name is Julie. I'm currently a student at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm studying to become an elementary teacher. But I also do fashion and lifestyle blogging and a little bit of interior designing on the side.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Julie, what's your cultural background?
My parents are Vietnamese and migrated to the U.S. from Vietnam, but I was originally born in Toronto, Canada.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I feel like I have many quotes, but there's one that really stood out to me. It's by Theodore Roosevelt, and he says, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." It's really short and simple, but it gets to the point. I mean, if you really think about it, half of the things we can't achieve are mostly because of either self-doubt or just not having enough confidence to fully immerse ourselves into what we'd like to pursue. But I personally believe that if we're able to get past that, then we've already got through the hardest part.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I believe that too, like belief is, the important thing, especially for women, especially for Asian women. Like we don't really believe in ourselves because we've been so, programmed to have other people tell us what to do, have our life planned out for us. So when we go out there and do something on our own, it's like we get scared, we think we're not enough, and then we don't have belief in ourselves. So, when we can believe that we can achieve great things, that's a start, and we'll do whatever it takes to get there. And, I always believe the universe will show us, doors that will lead us to what we want. So great quote that you mentioned. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Self-confidence, I feel like it's hard to explain, but I guess it's just being able to fully live your life and not let others dictate it or determine the way that you live, and just being fully immersed in your life and just being happy overall.
Thanks for that definition. And, I also believe in that, just learning to live your life in your terms and not really care what other people think. It's really, I know it can be hard at times because, we have our loved ones who care for us and want the best interest for us. But sometimes we just have to go out there, kind of fail forward a little bit and, experience life, right, in our terms and not, the expectation of others. So great definition. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Before discovering self-confidence, I felt like I was pretty insecure and I always seemed unsure about a lot of things. I was seeking my own self-confidence from others as well. For example, I used to look at how my favorite bloggers dressed and wanted to be so much like them. So I would initially even imitate their style, their facade, and just things like that. But I feel like everybody had that stage where they're just trying to figure themselves out, and I think that's what I was doing.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think that's what, we can, like you mentioned, we all deal with, right? Especially the comparing game. It's like, you want to look like them, like that person that you look up to. And, as you learn to find yourself and learn more about yourself, like you can like certain parts of what they do and kind of incorporate it into your own being, right? Or into your own design or into your own style. And, what was that point in your life when you realized, you were more than enough to go out there and be the person that you are today? What was that aha moment?
I think my aha moment was probably during my earlier years of college. It was when I actually started paying more attention to myself, what was beneficial to me, and just try to reach those goals. I ultimately started to not let others affect me too much in the way that I live, as well as just not trying to keep up with others or the things that I would see online. For me, it was more of discovering my own personal style. I feel like now I just really dress for myself and not for others. For example, like I have an Instagram that I would post fashion and outfits on, and back then I used to feel the need to have a lot of clothes just because I was always posting outfit of the day photos, and it just got to the point where when I went out I would stress about what to wear. And I had to make sure I wasn't repeating any outfits because I felt the need to always post different outfits and clothing every time and just things like that. But now it's the complete opposite. I'm like decluttering my wardrobe and I'm no longer stressing out about what to wear on days when I'm out, which is really nice.
Thanks for sharing that. You know, especially as women, like we are so consumed with like outfits and how we look, especially in the media or, you know, like even being fit. It's like, oh my God, if I have a pouch, it's like people are going to make fun of me or say something bad about me. But it's like, you know, we have to accept ourselves for who we are, whether it's, you know, our strengths and weaknesses, you know, our strengths and our flaws. I mean, we're still beautiful just the way we are. And, you know, when we can realize that, like, it doesn't really matter, like you mentioned, you know, you just go out there and just share your style, share your life, and people are still drawn to you, right? And because of that, what's your life been like now?
Well, just going back to how I used to really look up to bloggers and people on social media, I just thought that, you know, they were really cool and always seemed to carry themselves so well. But over time, I realized that it was just an unhealthy obsession that I was creating for myself because they're always going to be who they are or how they want to perceive themselves. And I just realized that I shouldn't be living in anybody's shadows, just not being a complete replica of somebody that I admired. And when I was finally able to let go of all that and just stay true to myself, it just felt so freeing. I felt like I had less stress and it was just definitely made me happier as a person.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. It's great that you're able to, you know, live life according to your terms and be who you are with that. Not being apologetic, right? And I think that's something that's truly important. I know as women, especially Asian women, we're so great at apologizing for every single thing, and we don't even know half the things we apologize for. So, yeah, it's like, it's just such a freeing, like, feeling when you're out there just being yourself, living your life, sharing what you love, and the right people will come to you because they can feel how authentic you are and just being yourself. So, you know, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I feel like self-confidence isn't what you stumble upon overnight. It definitely takes the right mindset to get to that point in your life. And I feel like everybody has different journeys and everybody will have different experiences. But for the most part, being mentally positive and not letting others affect your thought process is a great start. For instance, if you like dressing a certain style or looking a certain way, it shouldn't bother you too much of how others perceive you as long as you're happy with the way that you look. I also think it's good to not compare yourself to others. I know women tend to do this a lot, including me, especially during this day and age. We're so bombarded by the media of how women are supposed to portray themselves. Society will always be there to criticize and judge us, and sadly, that's something that's unpreventable, and it isn't going to go away. That's why I feel like having a positive mindset is so important. Just being mentally strong and not letting others affect your confidence and your way of living. And confidence definitely takes time to build, but I feel like with the right approach, you'll certainly get there.
Thanks for that tip. And you know, it's so true. Confidence, it's not overnight. It's something that we deal with for the rest of our lives because, you know, we're always presented with new challenges, new obstacles, and it's up to us to just overcome them and become stronger and be the person that we're meant to be. So I really love that tip. And also having a positive mindset is totally important. It really does help us. And not a lot of people realize like it starts from within to build that confidence from the outside. So great tips. And if our listeners wanted to connect with you and get to know a little bit more about you and check out your, you know, your blog, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, I'm basically always on Instagram and my handle is lovejuliethai. And I also have a blog as well, a fashion lifestyle blog, and you can find that at www.lovejuliethai.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Julie. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Julie, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Julie's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Julie for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Sheena.
Not a problem. It was an honor having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Sign up for our free membership site to get more amazing resources for self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.